In the late 1980s, while Nissan was churning out monsters like the RB26DET, the beating heart of the all-conquering Skyline GT-R, they also decided to build something smaller, lighter, and a bit mad in its own right, the SR20DET, a 2-liter 4-cylinder that, much like a Jack Russell, full of energy, punched way above its weight class. Now back then, the SR20DET wasn't conceived as a halo engine. It didn't power a flagship model or come wrapped in a 300 horsepower badge of honor. It wasn't bathed in carbon fiber or sold with Nürburgring lap times stuck to the dashboard. But it became an icon, not because of what it was, but because of what it could become. So let's talk about it. But in order for me to tell you about it, we'll have to wind the clock back to the mid-1980s. At the time, Nissan's performance 4-cylinder of choice was the C18DET, a solid lump of iron with a turbo strapped to it. It was good for its day, but emissions were getting stricter, and the CA was starting to wheeze like a pensioner on a treadmill. The solution? Well, a clean sheet redesign. You see, in 1989, Nissan unleashed the SR20DET, a closed-deck aluminium block with cast iron sleeves, a square bore with a stroke of 86mm, and forged internals that could survive just about anything short of nuclear warfare. Underneath its bright red or later black valve cover sat a dual overhead cam aluminium head with 4 valves per cylinder, shaped to flow air and fuel with the precision of a sushi chef's blade. The first version appeared in the, and this is quite a name, the Bluebird 2000 SSS Atessa Limited. That's quite a mouthful. Anyways, this motor was mounted transversely and produced just over 200 horsepower. It used a Garrett T25 turbo, a roller timing chain, and some of the most overbuilt internals ever stuffed into a compact 4-cylinder engine. Nissan didn't just want this engine to survive a warranty period, they built this thing to survive the apocalypse. Naturally aspirated versions, the SR20DE, also hit the streets, but everyone knew that the turbocharged variant was the one to have. In 1990, Nissan dropped a tuned SR20DET into the Pulsar GT-R, a WRC homologation special with all-wheel drive and an attitude problem. It made 227 horsepower, and it tried to murder you every time you let the boost kick in halfway through a corner. Sadly, in Group A rallying, it never really worked out. The car was quick, but not quick enough, and it spent more time airborne or in hedges than winning trophies. But motorsport immortality for this engine wasn't in the dirt, it was in the smoke. Not sure what I'm on about? Well, let's get into that. So in 1991, Nissan got smart and stuffed the SR20DET into a proper rear-wheel drive chassis, the S13 Silvia, and its twin, the 180SX. With just over 200 horsepower and a long hood and short tail layout, these cars became the weapon of choice for the rising underground drift scene in Japan. Keiichi Tsuchiya, the drift king himself, helped turn this sideways nonsense into an art form, and the cars, like the S15, was his paintbrush. Now I know he drove an AE86, but when you look at old-school Japan drifting videos, you see SR-powered cars sliding down the mountain. Now, drifting isn't going to engines, it's a world of high revs, sudden low changes, massive heat soak, and gearboxes that live in constant fear. But the SR20DET didn't just survive, it thrived in this world. Stock internals could handle 350 to 400 horsepower without breaking a sweat. Fit a bigger turbo, a front-mount intercooler, and a standalone ECU, and you'd find yourself steering down 500 horsepower with the smug satisfaction of someone who paid less for their entire build than a Porsche owner spends on their options. And then there is the tuning potential. The SR20DET has become the small displacement hero of the tuning world. Its internals are forged, and its head flows air like a wind tunnel. The aftermarket support is insane. I'm talking turbos the size of washing machines, forged stroker kits, billet manifolds, standalone ECUs, and even dry sump systems. If it bolts on, someone out there is selling it for the SR20. In Japan, Australia, the UK, and especially in the US, where the 240SX came with the much less inspiring KA24DE, enthusiasts began pulling SR20DETs from wrecked JDM imports and dropping them into everything. Sylvia conversions, drift missiles, time attack cars, dragsters, hill climb monsters, you name it, and people went mad. They didn't stop at 400 horsepower or even 600. Some SR20 builds are putting down between 1,000 and 2,000 horsepower. Let that number sink in. Imagine a 4-cylinder engine that generates enough power to tow the moon out of orbit. There are 2,000 horsepower drag SRs out there, launching cars so hard they bend time. And they're doing it on blocks that started life powering humble family sedans. Back on the road, Nissan continued refining the engine until 2002. Variable cam timing arrived, followed by a move to the larger Garrett T28 turbo in later models. The last hurrah was the S15 Sylvia, with up to 247 horsepower from factory. It was the swan song, the final note of a 4-cylinder that had more cult followers than a love song writing pop star. The SR20DET doesn't just have a legacy, it is the legacy. It's the reason drifting became a global phenomenon. It's the reason so many 240SXs are missing their original engines. And it is why so many garages around the world still echo with the sound of wastegates screaming and tires smoking. In the end, most people associate Nissan's greatest engine with the RB26. And don't get me wrong, the RB26 was a legend. But the SR20DET, that was the people's champion. But at the end of this video, please let me know what you guys thought of the video and what do you guys think of this engine. If you guys would want, I can make an in-depth build guide on the SR20 where we talk about the stock internals, how far you can push them, and what you have to do to increase the power at each level. I have made videos like that in the past, so if you guys would like to see that on this engine, just let me know down below and I will do it in the future. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys did like this video, you'll most probably enjoy most of my other stuff. So just go through my channel, see if someone else will like, or check you guys in the next one. Cheers, I.